Hey guys, it's Tony from Live Naturally, and today I'm going to show you my garden, my vegetable garden, and just give you a kind of an idea of where everything's going to go and what my plans are for the summertime. So, this is inside the fencing. We have 4 major raised beds. We just built them out of some barn boards that we found and just kind of screwed them together, and we dug a little bit, about 6 inches underground. Used a cross between like the native soil that was already here, some just general topsoil that had perlite in it, helps hold the moisture in the soil so that it doesn't dry up too fast. And then we use like a bulker kind of clay soil, and then just some compost, mushroom compost, landed seed compost. All the soil and everything is organic, so the plants that I buy usually aren't organic. I just kind of go to the nursery and pick some plants that look good, whether they're organic or not. So, but the soil is all organic, and we don't shoot anything with pesticides or herbicides or anything, or give it any steroids or anything like that. So it is technically grown organically. And then I have 3 planters over here. They are strawberries, and this big one here. And then we have some blackberries, and then some raspberries growing. So I'm not sure how they did over the winter. This is their first winter in these planters. I'm going to be putting my root vegetables in this one. Last year they were in this one. This year they'll be here. This plant is actually taller than all the other ones too, so it just gives the root vegetables a bit more room to grow. And then I have smaller planters on the sides here. Those are going to be for my herbs, thyme, basil, cilantro, lavender. So this one is going to have tomatoes. So there's going to be 3 tomato plants in this one. Roma, beefsteak, and probably some kind of cherry tomato or grape tomato. They got pretty big last year. They were in this one last year. So, switch things up a little bit. This garden is going to have the vegetables that I didn't have last year. So any broccoli, I didn't have any cauliflower last year. This one is going to have my zucchini and my kale. So those are like my 2 favorite ones. So I'm probably most excited about that one. The reason that I'm switching everything up and putting everything in different planters is because it just helps the soil replenish itself over the year that you're having a different vegetable growing. So basically, a vegetable or a plant, any type of plant, will use certain nutrients in the soil. So certain plants will use more nitrogen and less phosphate. Other ones will use more phosphorus and less nitrogen. So it all just depends on the plant, basically. So by mixing it up, you're giving the soil a year to replenish whatever nutrient was taken from it the year before. So it's really more of an organic style of gardening. So basically what happens, if you have the same crop growing for too many years in a row, you get bugs, basically, because they start realizing that these plants only have certain deficiencies or certain immunities against the bug. So they'll kind of mutate, and they'll be able to grow on the plant because they know what plant is going to be in there every year, and they know that they can get to it, and that will be a source of food and shelter for them. So that's a way that farmers tend to get bugs, and that's when the pesticides and the herbicides and all the treatments of the plants come in, because you need that defense, because the plants aren't able to have their own defenses because they're not being grown properly. They're not getting enough nutrients from the soil because it's been leached out all those years, and it's never had a time to replenish itself. So with my type of gardening, well, with organic gardening, you switch the crops up and give the soil time to replenish itself. This guy is going to end up being a greenhouse for the beginning of the summertime until I can actually start planting things in the soil. Probably around end of May is when I'll be planting them. But before that, it gets to the point where I want to bring things outside to start strengthening the stems and get the cells used to being outside in different temperatures and different climates. So, but you don't want them outside if there's still danger of frost, basically. So if you have anything with soft leaves or anything that can't be exposed to frost, you'll want to bring it inside at night. So what I do is I bring it outside in the morning just as the sun's coming out and the dew is kind of melting off all the grass. I'll leave it out for the day, and then as soon as the sun starts going down and I feel the temperature falling, I'll bring it back inside, and then they can still be warm at night and still have the natural sunlight during the day. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, or at least found it educational or entertaining at the very least, my introduction to my garden. Like, share, and subscribe. Like my Facebook page, Live Naturally.